thank you list to all of our members. And I've got a few members here that I would like to thank, and I will get to your names.
Hasn't the response been overwhelming? How many people get on and like and share? That has been so fun to see.
Yes, definitely. Well, I'm gonna run through my list here real fast, Queenie, to just thank everybody that we're honored and thankful that they joined our group. And please spread the word. We'd love to have more friends, more faithful friends with a purpose, as we like to say, or in my twisted family, more faithful friends with a purpose, whatever that means.
A poipus is good.
Yeah, a poipus. That's probably more what it is. I just think of water. So, so I'd like to give a shout out and basically say thank you to Debbie Duvall, Deborah Jared, Deborah Medlock, Donna Bouchant, Grace Stratton, Helen Senger, Holly Vaughn, Jan Matthew, Jan Soper, and Janet Segura. And those are our thank you. Thank you for being our members today. And I went in alphabetical order today because it's Monday.
That is super fun. Yeah, you know what? I actually heard that it's Monday all day. So how are you doing with Monday so far?
Started Monday. Yeah. Yeah. How did your Monday start, Miss Queenie?
Well, I'm telling you, I'm very serious about this. I have told you and several of the girls before how grateful I am for certainly my business, but to be busy. And one phone call in the morning can actually change your day. And when someone needs something or has a question about something, or by the way, I have a friend who is interested in the water, those kind of things, one phone call can change your day. So I have found for me that when I actually create my schedule, I have to make sure I leave wiggle room, as I call it, because if something changes, the entire domino effect can happen. And I have to be super careful of that for my B personality. So I don't know if you know this, but I'm a little bit hyper organized.
I didn't know that. And really, you're supposed to make a list. I thought flying by the seat of your pants was better. Because
well, see, that might be why this works so well, because like a little bit of a dichotomy to me.
Well, we're kind of opposites. Even if you look at the Kathy Weaver, aka Queenie, and then Doc, aka Laura Christine, we both interpreted that, in our own little way.
That's exactly right. And I do think that is one of the things. And you know what? The comments that have been coming from some of the ladies, I've been getting messenger comments, which has been super fun. And the comments have been coming. The friendship piece really seems to be on people's minds, ladies' minds, etc. And I don't know if it's because of our current environment. We find ourselves at home a little more often than we maybe even want to be.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Some of those things have changed. And I was just wondering about that when you and I were talking initially about friendship circles even. Mm-hmm. Then it goes into the core people, then what do you think comes next after the core people? Networking?
Core people, yeah, it's your core people, then your friends. And we've talked about this many a times. It could be your business friends.
Sure.
Those would be like acquaintances. And then the outlaws are in there somewhere. Yeah. The in-laws and the outlaws. I don't know. Just a little funny.
I'm sure the outlaws are now going, oh, thanks a lot.
If that's your family, my family's perfect, by the way. I don't know if you knew that.
No, mine's flawless. Yeah, mine's flawless.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the core people, and some people, and I've even said this, our family, our extended family, I never know what to call them. My brothers and my sister are in Chicago. So we are here. My parents have passed away. So we're it. That's it as far as our family. So I've said friends are family. You have some friends that are family-like, you do everything together, and that would be the core. And then people that you're still friends with that you might see here and there once in a while. I think that would probably be the next level. Acquaintances would be probably the business folk that you see. Of course, since we're business owners, we always think in a business sense, or just, maybe the people you see at church when you do get to go to church. Or, that how do you see it, Queenie? Do you see it basically the same structure?
Well, absolutely. And I always think about it basically as a ripple effect. And so that ripple continues because one person meets two person meets three person. and then you introduce this person to your other friend, and that turns out to be a relationship. And I think those are, I think that is basically the sense of community. You were mentioning to me, tell everyone
Uh-oh.
the, when you're from Chicago, and what it was like when you first moved here, even as far as driving. That was a fascinating story to me.
Well, yeah, we both my husband and I grew up. He grew up in the city. I grew up in the suburbs, and there is a difference in
Chicago.
that. Yeah, of Chicago. But it's a rough and tough area. People are not as friendly, and that's what we noticed first when we moved here 26 years ago. That yeah, no, I'm not old, even though I'm 27. Wow, yeah,
That's
it's only
okay.
old. Yeah, I need to figure out how to tell that story. But
Been
anyways,
married almost 31 years, so that is fascinating.
yeah,
How does
I
that
think
work?
I think I got myself in the corner on that one. I'll get back to you on
Yeah,
that.
really.
But the people were super friendly, and the driving piece is what really stuck out at us, because in Chicago, you know, the light turns green and everybody's on their horn, you know, and they're going to bump your car because they're in a rush, or maybe they're flipping you off because you didn't move fast enough. And here you go to a stop sign and everybody's like, no, you go, no, you go, no, 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 really, I insist you go. And we're like that. And then people don't honk their horns much. And then and it's funny because I'm used to it now. I've honked my horn occasionally, and then I feel bad because I'm like the only one that's doing it, and then everybody's looking at you like you honked your horn, you know. So
Well,
it's
apparently
just
Kansas City niceness is contagious.
yes, yes, yeah. But you know, it's cool though that people can be nice, and it feels good to be nice. And I do believe we were talking about that also. Of
Yeah.
even if it's a simple on Friday, I think I probably let 3 or 4 people. You know, when you're sitting at a street getting I was going on jumping on 135th, and I was waiting to turn right, and there was a whole line of traffic, and I let somebody cut in front of me. You know, that kind of thing, and it felt good. It felt good to be nice and courteous, if you want to say, and not have to be laying on your horn, you know?
I never would have noticed when people are from different cities. I guess for me, it's just one big happy family, and there really are specific nuances from where you grew up, how your life is now, what cities you choose to live in as you get older, as far as raising kids, and what does community look like. I think for me, it's the same as networking, because it is everything for me is always either networking or water. You know that, but it's that
Yes.
thing. What do people know you for? And what are the reasons that people meet you? And we were talking last week about how you have met that person, and if it did it happen in networking, did it happen because of meetup, did it happen because of what? And I do think that those specific nuances really do make the world go round. I love
Oh,
the picture
definitely.
behind you. Tell us about that. That's super cool.
Oh, it's just like a little mini picture with my green beans are in. So I've been, you know, it's harvest time. The green beans are in. The sunflowers are blooming. Though I cheated on those. Those are from the flower shop.
Oh,
I did.
okay.
I
Well, the
planted.
picture's fabulous.
Isn't it cool? We
Yeah.
get those in and they're wonderful. And then I have the yellow cherry tomatoes, which are cool. Trying to I've got too much in the way, but and then even the flowers, the white flowers, those are called vinca, and they're out in the full sun. They're full sunflower, but you know, as soon as the weather changed, the leaves are starting to change, which
Wow.
I know for us, you know, is we love the warm weather. It's a transition, but that, you know, the background is kind of like who I am, really. I love the outdoors. I love gardening. I love helping people with food. That's my background with the naturopath stuff. It's all about nutrition. You know, I work all of that in. And then your background, of course, says exactly what you love to do and what you are in the community, and that looks like No Excuses networking group, probably July 25th perhaps.
That might be the one, actually. Yeah. July 25th is where we met for the first time, No Excuses Networking Group. And we had met 2.5 years, actually, by the time you came on the scene, almost 3. And those are the kind of things I think about when we were talking last week again about the chessboard and things like that. And so the networking piece is so important now. And you and I were actually talking, I took some notes because when you speak, I listen, let's just say that, about the social media piece. if our stay-at-home order, as in quarantine, as in what does back to school look like now, and a lot of people will be doing their businesses from their homes now, instead of out networking in an environment like that, what are we going to accomplish when it comes to social media? Branding each other, people edifying each other, absolutely. What does the tribe look like? What does a circle of friends actually look like? And so one of the things I did want to mention, just for a standpoint of introductions, I'm Kathy Weaver, and I'm part of the Miracles with Water family, and I'm the Queenie part of the Doc and Queenie. And so I wanted to thank the girlfriends last week who were so nice to do watch parties. Social media is changing, yes. And so for us to be able to do Doc and Queenie and have watch parties was super fun. What do you think about that, Doc?
Oh, I think it's awesome. And, I always say ditto after you because you always say what I'm thinking. So, but I appreciate everybody that's joined, everybody that's been doing the watch parties. And it's been fun. It's been fun to connect with new people and catch up with people that I've known. And, we're all in it together. And I'm, of course, the doc part of Doc and Queenie. And I do beyondbasichealth.org as one piece of what I do. It's I'm a naturopath by trade training, and I put that together with my podcasts. Let's see if I can get savvy here. I've got all of my video stuff, but I don't move as fast as my mouth.
That's always my challenge. What did you just say?
It's called technology and trying to, and I've got a podcast that I love. I come from it from a soul, body, spirit approach. And the Mighty Morning Moment is my podcast that right now they're short little 2 to 5 minute thoughts. And it's to challenge my listeners on thinking. And like today, the theme was smile. And a lot of times, and a lot of times God will just dump stuff. And actually I recorded this one in my garden the other night. I was just talking about, when you smile, it changes everything. It changes the world. It changes your heart. It changes the person you're smiling at. Or if you're not smiling at somebody, it just feels good. So Mighty Morning Moment would be the soul part, how you think, how you show up in the world. The naturopath is the nutritional piece, the natural wellness, and then the spiritual. I'm a Rev. So I've got sermons, I've spoken on God and those types of pieces, and I just mix it all together. So that's kind of actually what Rev Doc 7 is, which is going to be a brand here in the next couple of weeks. So, but it's an honor to be with Queenie, and I am also part of your water family, which is fun. And that of course ties into what I do. We both, that was a connection too. When we talk about how did we connect, the water, when I found out you did the water, I'm like, oh, I'm totally familiar with that. And we were like two nerds, talking about the benefit of the water.
Let's talk about hydrogen and how it affects the cells.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she knows.
Woo. Yeah. Yeah. Like, oh, what about this pH? Yeah. So.
Yeah. And I'm sure everybody's going, who gives a rip about those?
Yeah.
Up to negative 900. And you're sitting here going, come on, we can do it negative 900.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Very few people share my nerdness on the water. So that was also a good bond. But think how much I have learned from you from a standpoint of naturopathy and the water is a perfect fit. And so that piece right there was important to me, nervous system and all the different things that you've shared. So RevDoc 7 is a perfect brand. And for everyone who was watching our Facebook Live on, I think it was Thursday, actually.
Oh, the one that was like this? I wish I could go sideways, but yeah.
That was Friday.
Not that talented.
But I want to give a backstory for the if someone had been videoing us doing the video, that would have been the most hysterical piece of the whole thing. Yes. All we're trying to do is let everybody see our cars with our new license plates, because when we took them back in January, yours was not personalized yet, and mine was a different color because Kansas changed their colors. Yeah. And so that wasn't even the same, but it was just a partnership teamwork kind of thing even back then. And then all of a sudden you got your personalized plate and I got the one that is now matching what Kansas is offering. And so I just thought, oh my gosh, this is just too funny. So we were trying to get the two of us plus the cars behind us in one long straight,
Not trip. Yeah.
only likes up and down. Yeah, not trip. That's the hard part.
That was
And
the
the
other
people,
thing.
oh my gosh, the people in that parking lot were even cracking up, and that was amazing. I wish.
Well, and if anybody knows me, I always try to have the camera in my arm, and my arms are short.
Yeah, and
So,
mine are not. So, yeah.
So but we did a little pass there on trying to, but you could tell,
Yeah.
yeah,
But
that was,
that's why, but just that whole thing right there, the backstory to everything, when people see how a success story looks or a challenge story looks or whatever that is, it really makes it tons easier when you have someone to share the journey with. And so for a lot of the ladies who were even sending messages as far as friendship, what does that look like? How do I do it? How do I meet a friend? How do I even make a friend? The girl chat with the faith twist part, for me, obviously it came from him, and one thing led to another, and then we realized that this was an actual need that a lot of ladies are actually,
yes.
and maybe because of this environment. What do you think about that?
Yeah, definitely this environment of being, cocooned in our houses for how many weeks? I mean, I've
23, but who's counting?
Yeah, you are. I'm not. I'm on vacation.
23. Yeah, you are. This has been a heck of a vacation.
I've been on vacation since March 17th, is it?
Yes, yeah. You have. Yes, you have. And that's what you
know.
Yeah.
The lack of contact, and then just in this environment, you really I'm trained, and I say it that way, and I probably have always been this way, but I'll use I'm trained excuse, but I'm trained to observe. And it's been interesting to watch how people react when things get bad. And kind of to tie into the question that you just asked me of if they had a friend or a good friend in that core circle, would they have reacted the same way? The people that did not react in a positive manner, or however they were feeling, would that have made a difference? And that, like you said, for both of us, that just jumped out with, if we didn't have friends, even with our friendship, just talking through it, sometimes it was daily, because it was kind of like, oh my gosh, can you believe, did you hear, all of that stuff was going on, or it was, how you doing, what's new,
turn off the news.
Yeah, turn off the news. Yeah.
That was a biggie. Don't turn it on today. This would be not a good day.
Yeah, I don't think you'll want to watch this, Doc. Okay.
Yeah. Don't take a look at this one.
You didn't want me to watch it because then you didn't want to have to sit on the phone for an hour while I'm in a rant, right?
Yeah, possibly that might have had a little bit to do with it.
Perhaps just a little.
Yeah, just a little. And that is one of the things as far as the branding piece. Who is going to support your business and lift you up edification-wise? And if with the current environment, if we are not able to network in person again, and networking for me full-time for 12 years, that's how I have actually branded my business. Now, not all my clients are local anymore. So I've had to be Zooming before it was cool, but how are we going to expand that reach now? And who's that edification part going to be? It's difficult to say, oh my gosh, do you know how fabulous I am? But it's super awesome when someone else says, oh my gosh, do you know how fabulous she is? And that's one of the things for the edification piece. If you just have one person in your corner, just one, and then pretty soon you have 2 or 3 or 5 or 20, in your case, 5 million. And it's so cool to be able to see people literally lift someone else up and say, did you see Doc's green beans? We got to find out how she did that. And of course, in my case, then what to do with them afterward. But I really mean it. And it does turn out to be almost a viral explosion of edification. And I just absolutely love that.
Well, and on the edification, if you're edifying somebody, it feels so good to lift somebody else up. I think we're designed more, created more that way anyways. We are social, and supporting each other is a big piece in that. And then, we've talked about this on the networking piece. Networking isn't not about, spewing, hey, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, and having it one-sided. It should be a collaboration of, like you're saying, edification back and forth. Because I can tell you how I operate. I talk to people, I meet people, I want to know what they do. If I have a client that's looking for somebody, then I kind of go through my memory or my cards or, that kind of thing and go, I wonder what, and I've seen you do it too, Queenie, who would be a good fit for so-and-so, because I've met this person, I've gotten to know them, I know their personality, and then I've got a client or a friend asking about something. It comes around eventually. But that edification piece is huge. It's huge on even just feeling positive and feeling good about things.
And it's certainly a trust factor too. And
Right.
especially for me, if I met someone networking and got to know them even better, deeper, whatever that looks like, and then I find out, and usually for me, secondarily, what their business is, I'd rather know what makes you tick than necessarily what your business is. And that, for me, especially in your case with the naturopathy piece, that was icing on the cake, because the physiological pieces of everything that you know, the soul, body, spirit that you teach in your workshops, that's the part that I really do find intriguing. And I realize that you are 27, but for some of us,
Yes. Uh-huh.
half, that really
Yeah, you're
turns out
twins.
to be,
Yeah, we're
yeah.
twins.
No,
Remember, we're twins.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot we're twins. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though as the aging process continues, and I'm going to fight it all the way, there's a million things that you teach that can actually help with that. And I really do love that part, because you are not a one and done kind of person. It literally is a process, and I love that you teach that.
Well, and thank you. And what you do, Queenie, to edify you back. I mean, just the networking piece, the people piece, just watching you, and I've learned so much. When somebody asks you a question, a lot of times I see you ask a question back, which when you're at first, I'm like, she didn't answer the question.
Don't tell anybody that part.
but eventually it comes back around to the original question, but it's really interesting, because then you find out, like what you say, you find out about that person. You find out about a person when you ask a question about them. And how many of us have seen people, that are down or whatever, and I do this. You see somebody that's might be having a hard day or down, and I'll go over there and ask them just a stupid question about them, and they light up and brighten up, and before you know it, they have a smile on their face. It shows that you care, and especially, to swing back around to that, with all of the stress and pressure and everything going on, with everything changing, even just saying, hey, Kathy Weaver's water is fantastic, it shows that I care. And if you're having a bad day, which I don't think I've ever seen that yet, let me know when that happens.
I don't allow bad days.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. If they were having if you could have been the only light in their day, and that's a purpose. Even as simple as that is a purpose or a purpose.
I think that's a beautiful purpose. That is a beautiful message too. When some of the girls have been asking about social media, funny that they don't ask us about technology.
They don't ask me, thank God.
But they do ask about the social media piece, and to like or share or tag or any of those things, because that really does cause the algorithm to change. As far as if you just do it yourself, that's just one little section, and then you see the ripple effect. And all of that for me works together. The circle of friends thing, and the networking friends and the acquaintances, and what the family looks like, and that whole dynamic, and then the ripple effect of networking, sharing videos, just like we are so grateful for the friends who have done the watch parties for this
Right.
Doc and Queenie. That is literally what we're here for, in my opinion. And it's been so cool to watch, because Girl Chat with a faith twist, we all know who's in charge of this, but it's back to the same drill. If you meet someone at church and it's not a good fit for you, it doesn't mean, oh my gosh, I'm finished with that. It means, how do I find out more about this? And what do I need to do to change the environment or the feel or the discernment piece? What does that look like? And you're very good at that. Oh, change those. I'm hesitant and terrified which ones you're going to come up with.
I'm terrified too, but hey. Because, everybody is like, they're going to eat me.
Yeah. Those pictures are just amazing. But it's back to that same drill, taking a picture when you go out with someone, even in this environment, a coffee shop even. And it really does change the flavor. What are some of the posts that you've been doing recently that have gotten the most hits for you on your Beyond Basic Health page?
Well, watching, of course, I'm always watching to see what works, what doesn't.
Okay.
It's like I said before, the biggest post I got was my haircut, and I think
Oh, that's right.
actually this picture, the carrots, was one of my biggest posts. But I try to just just something happy, flowers,
Oh, yeah.
gardening, you know. Um, yeah, that actually that picture was I was getting ready to do. I'm a big time juicer. And so I was doing my carrot. I do a carrot, orange, green apple juice once a week. I try to, and it takes a while to get it all prepped. And I actually had in the bowl. You can see the carrots. They're soaking in our 11.5 water, the Kangen. So, but yeah, the posts of that are not taking a side to a subject. I never go that direction because you also don't know who's watching, and you don't want to offend anybody either. And if you really have an opinion, I keep that to myself most often than not. But and I was going to comment on when you were talking a little bit earlier about you're talking about reach and circles and all that. When we first met, how many people we knew,
Yeah.
even though the chances, we talk about the chances of if I hadn't switched my business, I never would have come to the networking group. I mean, it's just that whole piece of God moving the chess pieces it's crazy, it's miraculous. And then you look at all of the people we're all, and I've noticed this in Kansas City more just because it's a smaller community per se. It's 9 million compared to, what are we, a million and a half? It's probably a little bigger
Oh
now.
my gosh, is that right?
But it's just it's a great community, and everybody seems to help each other, and we're all connected, and it's cool. It's cool how we're all interacting, so that to pull in the edification is important, and how we interact, because you just never know. You never know. So
Some of the comments, and again, we definitely appreciate everyone sharing the Doc and Queenie page and inviting their friends to like it also.
yes.
Be able to, I think one of the coolest pictures is when you did your motorcycle picture. And someone says, oh my gosh, that's dangerous. Is she really riding a motorcycle? Well, in our case, you never know. But this is actually one of the, so it's okay. But then the other thing that actually was got a lot of comments and a couple private messages was back to the when I put on there that little jailbird suit, finally digging out of jail and into the public again. I've only been to one event since March 12th, and that to me is amazing because that's not my DNA. And there haven't been other public groups that I am a member of, or that even my schedule with the Zoom stuff has been able to accomplish. But this was the first time on my calendar I was able to do a public event where the timing worked out so well. And I was amazed at the difference in how it feels. And I'm feeling like a lot of the networking is going to be changing. And if everything is going online, hello, for 23 weeks, who's counting, then I do think it's a chance for everyone to pivot and to use this platform, other platforms, whatever that looks like, to actually get out there, take a chance, do an upside down video, whatever that looks like, to get people engaged, because that
Right.
for me, what's going to keep us all together.
Right.
Environment the next few months, the next few years, whatever that looks like, because the face of networking, I feel, is forever changed. Even if we get to network in public again, there's always going to be that hesitation block thing going on. And so I think for us, it has been awesome to be able to have online presence. Can you share just a little bit? We're almost out of time again, which I can't believe how fast this goes.
I know.
Share just a little bit. A lot of people have been wondering how you've been doing those gardening videos. Like, do you set up a tripod? Do you have a film producer person in your garden with you? What does that look like? Because we actually get to see a big portion of your garden, and that would be hard to do if you're holding your phone.
Well, it's called a selfie stick. It's called a tripod. Occasionally, I will strong arm one of the kids to hold the camera for me.
That's
um,
nice. Yeah.
but a lot of it right now is tripod until I'm experimenting with changing formats on the videos. So, but yeah, I am my own production, filming, host,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. So, and that's been in it. And, I was going to comment on what you just said with everything is pivoting and changing.
Yeah.
And of course, what is consistent in life, that's change. And how better a platform of trying to be, I can say for myself, I've learned so much in the past 23 weeks, but who's counting, on different things. Like I thought, if we didn't, I'm not wishing being quarantined on anybody, myself included, but if that hadn't happened, would I have tried the podcast? Would I have started the YouTube? That those kinds of things. And even though things are opening up now, I would encourage everybody to try different things. I've heard a few people say they're writing books, which is fantastic. I've heard a few people saying they're going to try podcasts. Those are all different avenues. And then what we're doing right now, it seems to be, it's going to be a norm. Unless things drastically change back, but things never really change back, do they?
Yeah, our normal just gets different, is how I usually call it. When something has happened, good or bad, our normal just gets different. And so whether it's the new norm, which people hate that term, but our normal just gets different, because you still are going to have a normal life, just from the standpoint of waking up every day, which is kind of fun for me, just like looking outside and seeing the sunshine. I love that. So
yes, you do.
Me, yes. And
in normal is just a setting on the dryer. I think that's about it, right? Isn't that what we joke? We always say that.
Yes, that is awesome. That is awesome. Yeah.
It still shrinks your clothes. Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of people have had a lot of shrinking clothes during this pandemic. So I think
yeah. We won't blame it on anything.
Clothes during quarantine. Yeah. Yeah. That has been pretty funny. I really think it has been, honestly, another very fast. I keep looking at the clock thinking there's no possible way this goes by so quickly.
I know.
Really do hope and encourage, maybe even challenge our ladies to back and forth the edification piece, back and forth the share piece. And a like and a little emoji is darling, but maybe one more thing, like a comment. That's magnificent. That's amazing. Good for you. Keep on going. We're all in this together, whatever that looks like, because I do think it needs to be certainly mutual. But what does your friendship circle look like? If you close your eyes right this second, and you literally just zone out of everything and close your eyes for, let's even say 10 seconds, pop them back open, and literally think, who are the first 10 people that come to your mind? What does that look like? Write their names down quickly, and then maybe put them in that friendship circle. Where do they fall in that friendship circle? And maybe those would be the people that you could focus on for this next week, as far as liking their pages, finding out what they're doing. It's a little bit of a confession here, but I found a girl popped up on my page today that I actually haven't seen in a while, maybe, past 23 weeks. And I've only talked to her once in that amount of time. And she has now changed businesses. And I did not realize that. Why did I not realize it? Maybe her push, her promotion wasn't out there enough for it to have shown up on my pages. But I was very surprised by that. If someone had asked me for a referral for someone in her prior industry, she's who I would have offered. But she doesn't even do that anymore. And I didn't realize that. And I know in your circle with your church and all of those things that you do, a lot of people have popped up in your life that have now turned out to be incredible referrals for a lot of the things that you've got your fingers in a lot of pies there, lady.
Yes, to add to what you were suggesting, my thought process is who haven't I talked to in a while, and actually go. A few people pop up. There's actually a gal that I was friends with. I've been friends with her for probably 20 years, and we talk a couple of times a year. And I haven't talked to her this year, which is pretty sad. It's August, but and it's just like, so who haven't you talked to in a while? I won't admit it's been.
Wow, now that's a great idea.
That kind of thing. We take each other out for our birthdays. Her birthday's in January, mine's in December, and so it's it's sad to admit, but I've been busy. I know she's been busy. But yeah, it's.
If you can't go out in person, what would you think about obviously Zooming with her? Would she do that?
Yeah, I think she would. it's worth a try. You know, I don't know about her technology skills, but
Let me just share. If I can do any of this, there's nobody that.
no, it's me, not you, Queenie. You got it. You know, what you're doing now with this Facebook Live Zoom thing. Yeah, we'd still be waiting on me.
I just know enough to be dangerous. You know that. I always push a button and go, okay, Lord, I wonder if this is good.
Yeah. What if this will work? Yeah. Oh no, we're sideways again. Yeah.
That's another reason I use my laptop instead of my phone. I don't ever have those challenges.
It looks kind of embarrassing in the parking lot with a laptop, though, don't you think?
I know, that's the deal. And Lord knows we didn't want to look embarrassing.
Yeah, that's true. We probably don't really care about that, but
if we're on their video for the surveillance camera, I can't imagine what it looks like. Oh my gosh. Well, again, I do hate to say goodbye because I don't want to take the time even more than this. I can't believe how fast this flies. Thank you, amazing ladies, for watching.
Yes, it's been an honor, and it's been an honor hanging out with you today, Queenie. And have a great rest of your day, whatever you will do.
Oh, I can't wait. Actually, again, I've got to get outside. It's gorgeous. But thank you, Doc. This was terrific. And again, I'm Kathy Weaver, and this is Laura Christine, and we are part of Doc and Queenie, and we're thrilled that you're part of it with us. So thank you again, and we'll see you every Monday at high noon right here, Facebook Live on the Doc and Queenie page. Thanks again. Have a great day.
Take care.